Hello and welcome as we continue season 4 of the Let's Talk Wrestling podcast. As always, I'm your host, Kelby Bachman, and please give it up for the next guest on the show, Nelson Brands. So Nelson is from Iowa City, Iowa, and wrestled for the Iowa City West Trojans. He shocked the wrestling world when he committed to the University of Iowa. As a Hawkeye, Nelson constantly battled, and with everything culminating his junior year with a 5th place finish at Nationals to earn All-American status. Nelson recently accepted the head wrestling position at Iowa City Regina. He's also turned himself into a bit of a mountain man, having climbed now 47 14ers. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy Nelson Brands. In the heart of West Union, Iowa, lies a hidden gem in Euphoria Coffee. Owned by local residents Nicole and Shane Havenstreit, they source everything they can from local vendors. From hot and iced drinks, to savory breakfast burritos, to baked goods, to botany tea, and even homemade waffles, Euphoria Coffee is a place your entire family can enjoy. You can find more information at drinkeuphoriacoffee2go.com or visit their Facebook page. And we also have a special gift just for you. Next time you stop in, you can get a free baked good with a $20 purchase. Just mention the Let's Talk Wrestling podcast. Euphoria Coffee. Our purpose is deeper than coffee. How did you even get into that? Because you're climbing 14ers like they're nothing. But how did that even start?
I don't know. I was in Colorado just on a trip with my then girlfriend, and she's now my wife. But we were just checking out hikes. I've always liked to hike. I've always liked long, grueling hikes. I've never been just to go for a walk guy, but I love putting the lungs to work. So just asking around for hikes, and people said, "Oh, you could try to do a 14er. You look good, look in shape." And so I was like, all right, what's a 14er? Get on Google, do my Googling stuff, and you find out that there's 58 of them, and I'm a big list checking guy. So once I heard about that, it was pretty much over. I want to try to do this,
Yeah.
Very select amount of people have done it. So, I mean, it's fun to push yourself in that avenue too.
Where are you at on the list?
45 of 58.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long has it been? Sorry.
I started in 2020 was my first 14er.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you find the time to do that? You're really, I'm just blown away. You've done 45 of them. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, in the summer, I've always gone to Colorado every single summer for Pagosa Wrestle the World Wrestling Camp that my dad has done for 30 years. So, getting out there for that, I've always made that a 14er trip, and I try to get out there before school starts. And now that I'm done with school, I got even more time. So, yeah, just probably do 3 or 4 14ers every time I go out there in the summer, and it turns into 8 or 9 a summer.
just casually. Is it has there been a couple that really pushed your limits or really kicked your butt?
Oh yeah. I've done a few actually. One of the harder ones you probably heard of Grand Teton National Park.
Yeah.
In Wyoming.
Yeah.
There's peaks on that range they're gnarly because they're new mountains, new by however hundreds of thousands of years. But they're harder, they're more jagged and more difficult and longer hikes. And I did Tiwanaut, which is the 4th highest peak in that range, and that was brutal. That was a good 13-hour hike. So
wow.
Yeah.
And is that out and back 13 hours or?
Yeah, out and back. Usually you go about 2/3 up and then 1/3 down. Is it kind of what I found myself doing time wise? But yeah.
Wow. And did you say you do that are you doing that by yourself or do you do it with your wife or?
I do it with anybody that wants to do it with me. It's teammates, my wife, my sister, and myself is how the parties that usually goes. I've done probably into the double digits by myself. And I really do like doing them by myself a lot for clearing my mind and all the therapy of it.
Right. Yeah. I wonder, have you had like a teammate go with you, be like, I can do this, let's go. And then like halfway through, they're like, "Ugh, what the hell did I get myself into?"
Yes, but my teammates are all in good shape, so they can do it. They're just like, I'm never doing this again. You see that on their face. You get back to the car. I'm like, what'd you think? They're like, yeah, it was cool, but once you've seen one mountain, you've seen them all. And I go, all right, to each their own.
Yeah. Um, I bet. Well, I guess what I was thinking, like, yeah, I guess you could say once you've seen one mountain, like, but they're all so different. I'm sure you've seen some crazy things on so many different mountains. I mean, you've done 45 of them already, so I mean, no one is the same.
Yeah, not to
But,
me, but
right.
I'm not going to try to change everyone's mind.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. What's the next one on the list?
I'm actually doing Mount Rainier here in a week or so, in Seattle.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm getting into the big boys, and this one will be like a 16-hour day probably. So
Really?
yeah,
Have you ever considered like breaking that up into two? I mean, that's a long day, but I'm sure you could do it, but I'm just like, you know, two
I've
8 hours.
broken I've broken hikes up into 2 days, and in the long run, carrying the 40-pound pack is just not
Oh,
worth it for your
true.
sleeping gear. You got to have stuff for dinner, all that stuff. So I like to just try to bang it out and get tough. And you kind of it's a pick your poison, right? Do you want to be
Right.
miserable this way, or do you want to be miserable that way? So you kind of choose.
Yeah. Have you ever been like out on this hike and regretted it almost? I mean, I'm thinking like a 16-hour day. I'm like, okay, the first few hours are good. And then like there's like a 4-hour window or something there where you're like, what did I do? What am I doing? I
Hundred
can't turn
percent,
back now.
100%, 100%. I don't necessarily regret it, but
Right.
it's usually right when I start by myself is where I'll get the talk you're talking about.
Mhm.
I'll hop out of the car. It's 2 a.m. I'm by myself in the pitch dark, and I'm like, why am I doing this? And then I get moving, and you kind of forget that there's just pitch black behind you, and you just put your head down and you trudge through the night. And then once the sun comes up, you get a new energy. And
Mhm.
then yeah, and then by then you're already 6 hours in, so you might as well keep going.
Yeah. And is your wife like a hiker too, like that? Or
I don't think she was really
yeah.
before I met her, but it's kind of something that we explored together, and I think she
Okay.
likes it a lot. She's more of a marathon girl, a runner. I'm not a runner at
Really?
all. I hate running.
Yeah.
But I'll walk. I'll walk for many, many miles, but I don't want to run. It hurts my knees too much.
Yeah. So have you then, since she's kind of been on some 14ers, have you ran a marathon or are you planning on running a marathon as like all right, you've done something for me, let me run a marathon for you?
See, here's the thing. I think that marathons and running are a completely different experience than climbing a mountain. You
Hmm.
can do a
Hmm.
mountain at any leisurely pace. You can
Hmm.
make it hard. Um, Running to me, it's going to be hard no matter what I do. I just doesn't sound fun. So I don't know if I'll ever get into that. I got to lose a few pounds if I'm going to start running though, because a
Really?
big blocky wrestler ain't going to be the best for for running.
Yeah. Matt McDonough's been running some marathons I've seen. And yeah, he seems to be kicking some tail
Hey,
there.
he's got the
But
frame for it though. I don't have that
true.
frame.
Yeah. Geez, he's always been tall and lean. So when you go out at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm not a morning person. Are you are you like in a good mood? I mean, I just feel like I'd be starting the hike and be like, ugh, leave me, don't talk to me. Just leave me alone. Like for the first couple hours, or is that what you're
Yeah.
like?
Yeah, no, I'm not like that at all. I'm a big morning person. I like
Really?
it's especially when it's something I want to do.
Okay.
So I always look forward to the mountains. It's kind of like been my second passion since wrestling, and
Mhm.
it's something that I really enjoy. So I don't really have any. No, yeah, I don't have a really bad mood. I'll get into a bad mood maybe like 6, 7 hours in, where I'm like starting to get really hungry, and I'm like, all right, I got to take a break here, get some food in me, and
Mhm.
keep going. But yeah, most people that I have hiked with, I don't talk to them for the first 3 hours or so because they don't want to talk. So I understand it. I understand it. It's just not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you like did you learn that through trying to talk to them and then they just went, Nelson, just leave me alone,
Nah.
you know?
Uh, no, you kind of could tell when somebody
Yeah.
has like a negative attitude and they don't want to be talked to. So you just kind of back off a little bit and you know, do your own thing. I'm having fun either
Yeah.
way, so I don't really care.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I appreciate you talking about that because that was one of the things when I saw like on your Instagram and stuff, you're posting how you're climbing these mountains. I'm like, man, that's cool. I wonder just even how he got into that. Um, but recently you're wearing Regina Catholic. You just got announced as the Iowa City Regina coach. Um, Congratulations. But
Hey.
was that difficult being an Iowa City West alum? I mean, was there like some hesitation there?
Hesitation regarding West High, not really.
Yeah.
I love West High. I mean, I'll obviously be a West High alum for forever. So um in that avenue, no, but like, they don't, they sure they want me to do what's best for me and I want them to do what's best for them. And a little friendly competition never hurt anybody.
Yeah.
And West High's 3A, Regina's 1A. So we have a little bit of separation there where we can be um what's the word, civil towards each other.
For sure.
But
For sure.
yeah, no, I no pressure not to take it because of West High or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I love my passion for wrestling will probably never change. I've been around it my entire life, even since I was really little, sitting in a bucket at the OTC with my dad. So like um I'm glad that I get to explore it from the coaching angle. And I really do like coaching uh high school kids through camps in the summers and clubs for Marinelli's Hawkeye Wrestling Academy last year, and just seeing the improvements that these high school kids and middle schoolers make just from week to week is so insane to me.
Mm.
And it's something that I like to see where it's all of a sudden the high schoolers using a move that I taught 2 weeks ago. I'm like, that's cool, you know.
Hmm.
So and then obviously trying to reach that state championship, junior world championship levels it's the same thing as college, just college, it's NCAA champ and Olympic and world champs, in high school, it's just state champs and junior world titles. So there's going to be a lot of parallels there for sure for me to understand and dip my toes into it.
Yeah, is it difficult or was it difficult at the beginning when you started like doing camps or working with high school kids to um kind of break it down to their level, you know? You've been wrestling at a high level for a while. Like some of these kids are a little newer, they don't maybe know what you're talking about. I mean, you really have to break it down sometimes for these kids, you know? Did you find that like challenging or did you learn that along the way?
Yes, definitely learned it along the way. I've never really found that challenging though, because I am not a very IQ talented wrestler, right? I know my moves and I learn my moves by repetition. And so I can relate to guys that don't pick it up right away, and I can relate to people that are like, this is confusing. I'm like, yeah, it's one of the most difficult things you can do in your entire life is wrestle, you
Mhm.
know? And so being able to relate there from just my past experiences, even with like my dad being who he is, I never really was pushed into wrestling, so it had just had to come naturally. And I mean, I didn't start wrestling till fifth grade, so that's later than what somebody would be like. Oh, you have Terry Brands as your dad. Well, you probably started when you were 3 or 4. I'm like, no, he just waited until I said I wanted to do it, and because all my friends were wrestling, I was like, let's try wrestling.
Mhm.
And it's just something that I kind of had no choice into liking because of my involvement in it already.
Did you talk to your dad much about his career like growing up or like to the outside community, you know, it's like, "Ah, that's Terry Brands," but to you, that's just my dad,
Yeah.
you know, like was so did you like ever ask him or see stuff around and be like, "Hey dad, what's that?" That's you know.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of it'd be a lot of lifestyle questions, I like I said, I was never really like stoked about the moves of wrestling, and I was never
Mhm.
obsessed with like, oh, how do I do a perfect high crotch, how do I do a perfect cradle, all that stuff. I'd always just been I an athletic guy. I could like toot my own horn in the
Yeah.
fact that I
Yeah.
am an
Yeah.
athletic person. I'm athletic in other areas of, whatever, playing other sports. Um, so it was more lifestyle questions to him.
Mhm.
Like cutting weight was a major thing where I'm so fortunate in having him as my dad, because I see so many people now, even high schoolers, that just cut weight wrong, and I had a world class athlete be able to teach me how to cut weight. And then all of a sudden I'm having no issues with cutting weight by a junior in high school. That's so rare. It usually takes people 2-3 years into college to learn how to cut weight the right way. So that, just things like that, things that were the uncomfortable parts of wrestling is where I'd ask a lot of my questions, like the cutting weight and how do you sleep when you didn't have any calories that day, the night before a weigh-in. There's so many things that you got to learn early.
Mhm.
So not starting super early, that helped me. I asked a lot of questions like seventh, eighth, ninth grade. I remember,
Mhm.
like weightlifting, like how often should I weightlift? There's been articles about like the optimum time to start weightlifting and all that stuff. So being able to have a coach just as my dad was really cool. And but it never felt like that. It never felt like he was my coach ever. He'd never coached me in a wrestling match until college. So being able to have him just stay as my dad probably is why I decided to wrestle all the ways through collegiate. Would be
Really?
because it's not a fun sport.
Yeah.
Anyone that
No.
does you do wrestling because of winning in wrestling and
Mhm.
because of the athletic competition. You don't do it because it's nice and comfy and cozy. It's not. That's not what wrestling is.
Mhm.
So learning that early was also beneficial.
Did you do other sports earlier than like wrestling in fifth grade? Were you involved in other things?
Yeah, my first sport was actually hockey in Colorado.
Really?
Yeah, so when we lived in Colorado, my dad was obviously at the OTC. Now he would like take me down. We lived up the mountain in Woodland Park, but he would take me down to the OTC when I was younger before starting school out there, and I would just kind of walk around the room, do my own thing, watch him run practice. Whatever a toddler would do. I think I would have been 6 and 7 when he was at the OTC. I would have been like
Mhm.
5, 6, 7. Um, and then all the ways into 8, 9, 10. But he would take me down there earlier before I started school. And there's pictures of me. My dad's a big sauna guy. He loves the sauna, right? Loves the
Mhm.
sauna. And so, every single time he'd run practice in the sauna at the OTC. And there's a bunch of pictures of me, which I need to find them. But, like 5-gallon buckets, right? He would just fill it up with water and bring me in the sauna with him. And he just set me in the bucket of water. And I would just sit there and look at him sauna all day, all day. I don't remember it clearly, but I do remember the sun sitting in the bucket. So just being introduced into wrestling, like for those avenues, obviously was really beneficial. But I didn't do a high crotch until fifth grade.
You were a hockey guy almost. Almost.
I don't think so. I don't think it would have stuck. It was one
Yeah.
season. It was
Yeah.
1 or 2 seasons, like a third, fourth grade type thing. And
Mhm.
um, after that, we moved to Iowa City. My dad started coaching here at Iowa, obviously, and that's when I got into Ubasa trained with Pablo Ubasa, and that was my first wrestling practice.
How'd you do?
Not good.
Yeah. Was it kind of natural to you a little bit, or like did you really struggle to take on? Because you were,
I
like you said, you were kind of athletic, so.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was an extreme struggle, but like the guys that have been wrestling since they were 5 years old, 4 years old would whoop my ass, and I hated losing. That's one thing I learned from my dad and growing up with my cousins and my sister and stuff is losing was the most painful thing ever. I'd rather get hurt than lose when I was little, you know? And so at least I had that going for me. And you have that competitive drive, you can get really good at pretty much anything you want to do.
Mhm.
Um, Especially if you like what you're doing.
Yeah. And did you like it right away? I mean, was there ever a
Um,
time when you were like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do this.
um, I mean, a lot of wrestlers, many wrestlers that haven't learned like the mentality of losing yet. They once they lose, they're like, I'm done. You see that so often with high school kids, middle school kids, all that stuff. Um, but No, I mean, I didn't ever necessarily want to quit.
Hmm.
I'm going to tell you right now, the most difficult season of my entire wrestling career was this last season.
Yeah.
So, the mental side of it, like taking a break last year from being banned for gambling and all that stuff, added on to coming back into, what my opinion is the most strenuous training you can do ever. I truly believe that collegiate wrestling is probably the most strenuous training and athletic strain you will have on your body if you did it. I
Hmm.
mean, you're making weight to 1 to 2 times a week, and everybody you wrestle, especially in the Big Ten, is just really really good. And just getting through that is the mentality piece was just so difficult, but glad I did it. I'm glad I came back.
How did you get through that? I mean,
A lot of late nights and talks with myself and talks with um God Almighty and talks to coaches and my wife, and it's just it wasn't easy, but
mhm.
put my head down and dealt with the injuries that came, and then dealt with the bad thoughts that came, and you get through it. And life, wrestling is not life. Wrestling is what you do for a very short amount of time, and as long as you did your best, I don't think there's really any shame in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do anything else to take your mind off it? Like, I know you talk to people, you have a support system, but was there anything that you did to just get away, to just not do anything or think anything wrestling? You know what I mean?
I think what I've learned since being done wrestling is I think I coped with a lot of my stress and anxiety with wrestling with video games. I think I did
There you go.
because being done, I have not played near as much video games as I used to, going through college. Like any time that I needed or any time that I had a break from wrestling or from school, I was sitting there gaming. I don't know why, and now I think I know why because it got the stress and anxiety off of me for however long I decided to play video games. I used to play late, 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 and kind of being eye open to that is really nice and something that I can share with people that I mentor, in the future, my athletes. I can explain like what that feeling is. So I think video games, I think a healthy coping mechanism that I kind of learned is just sending it to the mountains. And that's what I was telling you earlier is the
Mhm.
it clears your head, especially if you go alone. I mean, you have nothing. You have no phone. You just have your heart rate at 160 beats for, 8 to 12 hours. And nothing really has cleared my head more than that. Um, so yeah, I would say one healthy and one very unhealthy
Mhm.
coping mechanisms. I'm glad I didn't, turn to the bottle or or turn
Right.
to anything like that. So definitely worse, but my eyes are open to the video game side of things for coping with stress and anxiety.
Yeah, what games were you into?
Oh, I'm into everything, man. I
Mhm.
played a lot of Rust this season, though. I don't know if you ever heard of Rust. It's basically
No.
it's an open world survival game where your character is online 24/7, whether you're playing or not. So basically, if somebody decides to raid you or attack you, you lose everything, even if you're not playing. So like that kind of makes you want to play a lot and a
Wow.
lot. Yeah. Dangerous game. Haven't played it since season got out.
Yeah.
But
Dang.
yeah.
I'd be pissed if I woke up and saw everything
Oh,
gone.
oh
That
yeah. No fun.
Yeah. Also, I'm just picturing like when you say like you're stressed and you're walking in the mountains, I can just envision all of a sudden you're walking faster than what you think or what like because you're lost in your thoughts, and next thing you know, your beats per minute from 160 go to like 180 or 175, and you're like, "Jeez," because you're just thinking and you're just exerting all this stress that like I don't know, you're just like losing yourself. I'm just picturing that, I guess, right now. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely a very healthy way of clearing your head.
Yeah.
And I've always told people that, looking at the side of depression, everyone deals with depression, and everyone deals with those hard bumps in the road in your life. And I truly believe the number one medication for depression is to work out and go exercise. Push your heart rate to 200 for 10 minutes and then get off that treadmill and tell me if you're still depressed. I'm telling you right now, you won't be. You
Hmm.
know, that's how you feel alive. So getting whether it's a mix of adrenaline and your heart rate pounding, whether it's hard workouts, whether people turn that's you read these ultra marathon books, and uh, you see their mentality is very similar. Um, they felt pointless in life, so all of a sudden they started running 100 miles at a time. Things like that. So uh, I think humans are so I'm getting really deep here, but humans are just so similar. Like we're so similar. We're all biologically very similar.
Hmm.
And when you talk about things that people think about like this, like exercising is the number one cure to get your head out of your ass, I think people tend to agree because we're so similar and biologically we are.
Yeah, there are things that are proven to help you no matter what who you are, where you're from. Like there are just certain things like sunlight is another big one, vitamin D.
Hmm.
If you get outside, that's another thing to really help cure those thoughts and depression and stuff. So like yes, I see what you're saying, and there are things that no matter who you are, what you look like, where you're from, how you identify, whatever, this is going to cure those things. Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah. Little fresh air and some sunlight never hurt nobody.
exactly. Exactly. Um, when you started to get into wrestling, did you start to kind of come out of the shadow of your dad? Did you ever feel like you were in the shadow of your dad or your uncle being a brands?
No, no, I think having Terry as my dad, he knows the feelings of the stress and anxiety that wrestling puts on you, that life
Mhm.
puts on you in general. So being able to talk to him about that stuff was always helpful getting through it. Um, I never felt like I was in a shadow, but I did feel the pressure, right? Like, okay, your dad's an Olympic medalist, right? He's a two-time world champ and he's a two-time NCAA champ. Like you have to do that too or more. I don't have to do that and more. I just got to do my best for God's honor and glory, and that's all that you got to do.
Mhm.
And being able to talk to him throughout my wrestling career, or especially early wrestling career, where I remember always being like upset that I lost, not necessarily because I hated losing, which I did hate losing, but because I felt like I let down people that are like, oh, that's Terry's son, so he needs to win. And I got over that really quick. I got over that before high school. I truly think I did.
Mhm.
Especially I did not feel that in college at all. Especially with that coaching staff there, Morningstar, Telford, Tom, and Terry. I mean, like you can't ask for anybody more that's going to be able to help you through dark, dark times. So didn't feel it in college at all, and I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah. Um, I was gonna ask you something and I forgot. When did you realize, here's the question, when did you realize that Terry had the accolades he did? Like, I'm just trying to envision being a kid and you're
Oh,
just
like
like, yeah,
yeah.
you see him as your dad. And then all of a sudden you're like, you go into his closet one day and you're like, hey, what's this?
um, I don't I don't think there was a day. I think I kind of realized how people looked at it once. Like remember I did show and tell, in elementary school, and I brought my dad's Olympic medal. And I remember like everybody going like, whoa, like I didn't think it was that cool. I'm like, yeah, this is I understood the what it takes to be an Olympic medalist because I've been told that growing up like you do your best, you do what you do your best ability. And so I think bringing that to show and tell was kind of my eye-opening day if you want a perfect day for it. um but yeah, I just think I was lucky that I had so many psychologies of life explained to me at a very young age, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I think the couple things have you watched the Flow documentary, Terry, on your dad?
Yes, I did. It took me a
Mhm.
few years to actually watch it because I didn't really want to watch it because I live it, you know.
Right,
So
right.
I know, but I did watch it once I got to college, I think it came out when I was a junior or a sophomore in high school. I waited a few
Mhm.
years and then watched it. But
Mhm.
yeah, I knew all that stuff like
Yeah,
it was the back of my hand. So here
yeah,
watching the movie was not, yeah, it was cool.
yeah. Well, I think like the cool thing about that and like the BTN thing about both your dad and your uncle, like it really kind of peeled back the layers of who those guys are. And also like, I'm wearing my Believe shirt, like with the story with Alex and Mariah and Eli, like we really get to see those sides of Terry that you see every day. So like it's nothing new to you, but to us, like we see them as these intense individuals all the time, because like all we do is we see them when they're at the duels or tournaments or stuff, and they're so intense, like we don't see. So it's cool for us as fans when we're looking and seeing kind of the human side. And like they're more than just wrestling. Like Terry has so much knowledge other than just wrestling, but we don't see that. So when you're sitting here saying like, we didn't really talk much about wrestling, we talked about life. It's just kind of fascinating, or I guess to the fan, if you will, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I understand. I think people forget that like we were saying earlier, everyone's human. We're so similar. And
Yeah.
so if you're having spirituality talks, or you're having psychological or lifestyle talks with somebody that's close to you, I'm probably doing that too. And Terry's
Mhm.
probably doing that too. And everybody in the world's probably doing that. So I think people forget that a lot, that
Yeah.
not everything that you just see over a screen is what everybody is. Um, which everyone can learn about from, I can learn that too.
Yeah. When did you start like being an Iowa athlete, a wrestling athlete specifically, and also having a parent as a coach and family member as the coach, like how to tune that out? I mean, did anything like that piss you off bluntly, like reading some
Like,
of the stuff that gets put out
oh
there,
yes, okay, I see
you
what you're
know?
saying. Um, no, I actually it was kind of amusing to me, um, for the first few years, that you're dealing with it. It's kind of amusing because you're like, there's no way someone has enough time to do this. I think it's just funny, like, dude, like, just go enjoy your life. You don't need to shit on other people's lives. Just
Mhm.
maybe they're miserable, maybe it's just they like to get a rise out of people. You see rage baits. Like, I respect it. I respect the game. You have your buddies, you have your own buddies that always try to rage bait you. So like,
Mhm.
um having people gaslight and rage bait online, it's human nature. And so if you can look at it in an amusing way, I think that's a
Mhm.
really good way of coping with it. This year it got difficult just because it's like nonstop. But once it becomes nonstop, that's when I never deleted social media because of having all the backlash. But this year I did, just because like
Really?
it was too much. Like every time I'm trying to get on Twitter to see some really funny memes and stuff. I'm not trying to get on there and just see somebody shit talking me
Mhm.
every single day. If it's like once a week or once a month, so be it. Whatever. It's kind of funny. But every single day it gets old. And especially
Mhm.
when every time it's just somebody behind a screen, it's a burner account or whatnot. Um, so this year was difficult, but you get through it. It was just a few months.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, it's funny now
Yeah.
again. So yeah.
Yeah. Um, I want to back up to high school just a little bit here, because you had some really good moments in high school. Your sophomore year, you end up winning a state title, the first of three. Was that kind of a crowning achievement for you? Were you pretty satisfied that you got it done? I mean, almost kind of to your point earlier, where people expected big things, like now you're delivering.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, now you're big man on campus when that happens, especially when, like, in your head, looking
Yeah.
back, I wasn't shit, I wasn't shit. And you always, you always look back on it, and you're like, it was, it was so cool. Like it's you achieved the goal that for me, I have like a journal and I would write it down every single day. I will be a state champ and then the year, and whether it was when I was writing it down my freshman year and I didn't even qualify, or whether it was my senior year and I'm heavily favored and I'm still writing it down every single day, 10 times a day, fill in this note, this journal, right? Multiple journals actually of just slamming that goal home in your head, right? Your brain is the most powerful muscle in your body, most powerful. Okay. It's not the strongest, but it's the most powerful. And so when you just do that and it takes no time, it takes 5 minutes of your entire day to make sure that your brain is focused on the task at hand, the goal. And so accomplishing that goal my sophomore year was, the highest of highs. Yeah, it was awesome. I think you're right. Kind of proving to people that I am a decent wrestler was something. Going to being on junior teams and cadet teams, I wasn't the best on the team. I wasn't even the starter sometimes for Team Iowa. I never did very well at Fargo until my senior year. So like being with those other Iowa guys that are so much better, and they're probably like, why does this guy, they're saying, why is this guy not doing anything? He's got the connections and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And so, kind of proven to myself and to the Iowa wrestling community, the state of Iowa, was definitely cool.
Yeah. What happened? Not what happened, but you failed to qualify, like you said, as a freshman. I mean, was that utterly devastating, or I mean, where were you at, I guess, wrestling wise, coming in as a freshman?
I had not really taken wrestling serious with like summer training. And
Okay.
so every camp I do in the summer, when we do questions at the end of camp with these high school and junior high kids and the elementary kids, I always get the question, whether their parents are like, you have to ask this question, or if they're actually thinking it, you never know. But I always get the question, what is the number one thing to do if I want to be a better wrestler, right? And there's two things. The first thing is you got to wrestle in the summer. You have to compete in the summer and you have to train in the summer. Okay. Think about if you're trying to compete with the best in wrestling, they're training year round. All right. With a couple week breaks in between around the year. All right. If you wrestle from November to February and you don't wrestle from February all the way to November, you're not going to be able to compete with the highest percentile. You're not going to be able to compete with the best of the best. So summer training, and then lift. You have to lift. And people forget that like wrestling it's not a strongman sport, but being strong helps you in so many different positions where your athletic ability may fail you. Your talent may fail you if you don't have some freaking horsepower. So doing lifting and summer training is what I always tell the kids when I do go to camps, and I hope some of them commit to it.
Yeah, is that what sort of catapulted you from your freshman year? Like, I mean, you didn't even qualify for state, you know, to state champ. I mean, that's a leap,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Like I said, I started taking it serious. The training in the summer and lifting, those three things are truly what I did. And then I was already doing like writing my goals down. So getting used to writing my goals down and doing your mental toughness routine, probably helped too. The annoying thing with the mental toughness side of stuff and writing your goals down and visualizing your moves in your head and all that stuff. The difficult side of that is that you don't necessarily see if there's any progression, right? Lifting, you're getting stronger, right? Wrestling, I'm getting better at certain moves. But the mental toughness side of it is you don't really see any improvements. So just trusting that it is working, and like, how important is confidence? Everybody can say that confidence is so important. So when you're doing your goals, all that does is add to your confidence. If you could be the most talented person in the world, and if you go out there thinking that you suck and you're going to lose, you're probably going to lose and you're probably
Right.
going to suck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, talking to yourself the right way, self-talk and the mentality side of it is massive.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I think sometimes we take that for granted. I think we're starting to become a little more talked about, and we're starting to get more mindset training and coaches and stuff like that's. It's becoming more prevalent. We're getting there, but um, I think there's obviously still some room to grow. Um, I was looking at, when I was researching a little bit about you. I went to MFO Marmac High School, and I think this is similar to a lot of high schools, I would say. Our career takedown leader had like maybe 300 something, um, mid 300s for a career.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, for a career. And you had 485 takedowns in 1 year. You ended with 1,250.
Yeah. Yeah. That year, the year that I had 485 was my junior year, and Cody Pujol, and Mark Ryland. A lot of people know Mark Ryland. He was a national champ for Iowa. He was my high school coach.
Yep.
He passed away from COVID in 2021, but rest in peace. Um, but Cody Pujol, my assistant, the wrestling
Oh
coach
yeah, I
for
remember
West
him.
High. Yeah, he's the man. He was really pushing me to try to break the state takedown record, and I always tell him, I'm like, I would have broke it if we would ever have qualified for state as a team. We never did, you know. And so the state, I think the season record is like 520, which I was really close to because I had 10 less matches than the guy that has it. And then career, I was really close to. I actually might have the career. I don't know, but I don't know. It was a really fun thing to push for. And my senior year, I didn't push for it. I still had a lot. It was significantly less than 485, but I had a bursa issue. I blew my bursa in the summer after my junior year, and so I couldn't kneel very well, and it was grapefruit flapping around on my knee. So I just would take people down and pin them my senior year. But it was really fun to try to push for that state record. I think we did the math, and I was averaging like 9.2 takedowns a match, which is ridiculous.
That is like especially when you say that out loud, like 9 takedowns a match. I mean,
I probably had over double digits in tech pens. So it was a fun season. It was really fun. I tried to keep the sportsmanship under, like
for
as
sure.
best as you can as a high school hothead. I wouldn't call myself a hothead, but all boys that are in high school that are good at a sport are going to be a little bit, they're going to
Hmm.
overplay things. But I'd say I kept it I never got like dinged for unsportsmanlike or anything like that in a match. So, um, we kept it there. It just was like kind of take down, let up, take down, let up, take down, let up, then take down pen.
Yeah.
So it was a fun season.
Yeah, 485. I mean, when I was looking at that, like I said, that's more than that might be over 100 more than our career leader has, for a career. And you did that. I think Willie Miklas, I talked to him and he had a boatload in 1 year too. Like just ridiculous. You know?
Looking
Um,
back, like I said, that was the most fun season. So I would encourage it for other high schoolers
yeah.
now. Go break it, try to beat the national one, beat that guy that in Texas that has it. I don't know. I think that's what it is. Texas.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's a guy in Texas. He had like 70 matches though. So you got to figure out how you're going to get that many matches.
Yeah. And in Texas, like out of all the states, I would not have guessed Texas. Um, was it sort of disappointing to not qualify as a team, with the tradition that Iowa City West has, to not quite get
Um,
over that hump?
I don't think so, just because we never did in my 4 years there. So I never had something to compare it to.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We always were so tight knit. We had a good anywhere from 5 to 8 state qualifiers every year. So we had a good group of kids that loved to wrestle, and
Yeah.
that's all you can ask. We tried our best, and um like I said, though, I would have probably I had 199 wins, so I would have had 200 wins, and I would have probably broke the career takedowns.
Dang. 199 is still a good number. I mean,
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
still pretty good. Um, this was kind of more of a personal question. Um, did you, so with your dad being on staff at Iowa, did you get a scholarship or were you able be like how does that work with your father being basically an employee, you know?
So Iowa does not do that. Not, I think there's only like 4 Big 10 schools in the Big Ten that don't do family member tuition. So no, I didn't. I was
Really?
yeah, I was a walk on, so to speak, for my first I think 2 years, and then I got a little bit of scholarship here and there when people would transfer or when people would um, quit. But I never. I didn't get any walking on. I have my connections there at Iowa, so I have Tom and Terry to help me out, and I'm glad I could contribute that way. Just to help keep our scholarships high. Now it don't freaking matter with NIL, but I did what I could for the first 3-4 years because I was in college for a long time.
Yeah, first off, um, so you were a walk-on and you essentially had had to pay your own tuition. Like you didn't have any scholarship besides maybe academics if you had anything like that. Like you
No, no academics for on my side.
wow.
Yeah.
I didn't I would not have guessed that to be honest.
Yeah, it's like I said. I mean, Tom and Terry are there, so I'm not stretched for money. And then
Mhm.
NIL came, and so that helped a little bit. And I don't know. I wonder what NIL is going to do in the future here because it's getting crazy. So
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
like it for the kids, but it's crazy that it went from super governed to not governed at all by the NCAA. And then they're banning
Yeah.
people for $15 on Iowa football.
Yeah. I'm sure will you ever get over that? I mean, I'm maybe not get over it, but I mean, will that ever not be something in the back of your mind that you're like, I kind of got, I kind of got hosed, a
Well,
little bit.
I definitely got hosed, and you follow the rules, I guess you can say. I truly, and I've told people this, and some people believe me. I don't really care if you believe me or not, but um I truly did not know that I could be completely banned for an entire season for that.
Mhm.
I mean, what I thought, I knew that it was like you weren't supposed to do it. I knew you could get banned for like a couple dates or whatnot. I did not know the extensive part of it though. I didn't know a whole year could be just stripped for you. And actually, I was permanently banned from the NCAA, where I couldn't even coach for the NCAA and I couldn't compete for them ever again at first. Like that was the
Mhm.
first penalty, and I was like, whoa. For 15, three $5 bets on Iowa football. That's what I get.
Mhm.
And yeah, it sucked. But yeah, I mean, getting over it, I would say I got over it really quick. Looking, the only painful part of it is the fact that I wouldn't have came back for my 7th year. I would have wrestled my 6th year, not pursued a medical. I was ready anyways, and then been done. But
Mhm.
because of me getting banned there, I didn't compete for a whole year, and then I decided to come back as an even older. The older you get, it
Mhm.
ain't necessarily better.
Yeah.
So as an older guy, I had to come back for my 7th year, which I would not have done if I would have gotten my 6th year.
Yeah. Are you allowed to say did you win the bets at least?
The Iowa bets, I did not actually. I lost all 3 of those, but I did. I think I got into DraftKings like in September, did a lot of NFL bets and stuff, MLB bets, and I think I made like 400 and something dollars.
There we go.
And then I deleted the app, and then I got banned in April. And to come back for my 7th year, I had to donate my winnings to a charity of my choice. So that's
Which
what they made me
was?
do. I did the homeless shelter in Iowa City.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
But that's what they told me. They said, you can come back if you donate your winnings to a charity of your choice. And I go, oh, I mean, of course.
Yeah.
If that's all I got to do, I'm back. Yeah, let's do it. So that's what I did. And like I
Yeah.
said, I don't really regret it, or it's what you learn and you live in life. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you you said you what 7 years? Did you imagine? ever that you were going to be in college for 7 years?
I didn't even imagine I was going to be in college unless the only reason I went to college was because I wanted to wrestle in college. I would have done some sort of trade school, something like
Really?
that. And no, my education has never been my passion. Can I say?
Mhm.
I love wrestling. I love learning wrestling, but like being forced to learn math when I didn't want to learn math, when I knew I would never use it, was just something that I could never get over the hump on. Um, I wish I would have focused more in high school though, because I do think high school is extremely important. College is extremely important too. I just felt like it was kind of like a checking of boxes all the time in college.
Mhm.
Like I didn't feel like they were actually trying to teach me. I felt like it was like, do this, you get this, here's your diploma, kind of
Mhm.
felt like a list checking to me. And that's just what I think. But yeah, I mean, I got through it, and I went to school for a long time. I got my master's degree,
That's
and
crazy.
yeah, right. So I'm so thankful for like the sport and rec program at Iowa, just because the teachers get it. They get that you're a student athlete. It's completely different than just being a student.
Mhm.
Um, and being able to learn about like the sport admin side of things was actually interesting to me, so I enjoyed it. And then you get to learn how to like for my capstone, I talked about how to run a wrestling club. Like that's
Mhm.
interesting to me, so I
Mhm.
poured time into that. But if you tell me to try to learn how to do some pre-calc, I'm good. I'm not dipping my toes in that.
That's cool though that like that is something that with your high school athletes, um, you'll be able to relate them to, like God, there's gonna be a lot of your athletes that are like, I don't like school. I don't want to do school. I don't think I'm not gonna go to college anyway, whatever, yada yada yada. But to have somebody like you who went like, I wasn't gonna do that either. School wasn't necessarily my passion, but I did it. You have to do it,
You have to
you
do
know?
it. In some sort of your life, you have to do it. And part of education does suck, because I would say, if I had to put a percentage on it, I'd say about 25% of the education you learn, you don't want to learn.
Yeah.
Um, one thing I wish that school would teach you in college, especially, would be like taxes. Like why are we
Yes.
not spending a lot of time on taxes so that I can do taxes myself, instead of having to call up some guy multiple times to figure out what I'm doing, how to
Mhm.
file. So I think stuff like that needs to be stressed for sure. Or like how to buy a dang house. Like, dude, why are we not learning that? You know, how to
Yeah.
pay your car payments. Like yeah,
Yeah. Yes. How to refinance, when to refinance. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you actually, when you went to Iowa, did you live in the dorms?
No, so my grade, my graduating class, which was me and Cassiope, ended
Mhm.
up just being me and Cassiope after a few years. But it was just like four of us. I think Cam Shaver and Joe Kelly were there too, and
Mhm.
Cashman, I guess. But my class was the first class to get the choice not to stay in the dorms or not, which was
Really? Okay.
awesome, because Cassiope didn't want to stay in the dorms. And I didn't want to stay in the dorms. I've already lived in Iowa City my whole life. I didn't need the dorm life for 1 year. I didn't want to I already have issues getting sick. I didn't
Mhm.
want to have we call it the Hillcrest flu when I was younger. So I didn't want to
Mhm.
have the Hillcrest flu. Um, 2, 3 times a season. So they give the option now to every single guy. And I'd say about half the classes usually decide to stay in the dorms, and the other half decide to get an apartment with each other.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
you four, or did you get
It
with
was
some other
just,
people?
I roomed with Warner and Carter Happel. And
Gotcha.
it was fun. I mean, Warner's the man, and Carter Happel's a Team Iowa guy. So I was already close to Happel, and Warner is I don't think there's anybody on the planet that couldn't go to get along with him. So having him as a
Really?
roommate was really fun. Yeah.
Really? There's nothing? Like, is he?
I think we argued one time, and it was because um he left the apartment door open, and our cat ran out and was disappeared for a month. And I was so mad. I was so mad. But we ended up finding the cat. It was really hungry, but we found it in like a hole outside, and then we squashed our beef.
Dang. Whose cat was it?
Mine and Warner's. Warner has it
Oh,
now.
okay.
Once we moved out, I moved in with Paul Glenn, old
Mhm.
Iowa alum,
Yep.
and we couldn't have cats in there. So
Uh,
Warner said, I'll take the cat, but it's my cat now. And I go, all right. So he still has her.
wow.
Valerian is her name. And so, yeah.
Do you get like visitation or something or?
Yeah, I go see her once in a while.
Okay, geez. Yeah,
Yep.
ruthless. I mean, he's the one who let
I
it
get
out.
weekends. I get
You get
weekends.
okay, you get weekends. Hasn't let it out since, has he?
No, it's
Okay.
it's it's just a fat cat now, a fat happy cat.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say you were gonna like argue about who the Bears should draft like number 1 overall or something, you know?
I
But
let him argue that with other people. I never cared enough to argue with the NFL with him.
yeah. What does now that we're kind of getting into post graduation, for you, what does life look like now? You said you kind of have one more time on your hands. Like aside from coaching wrestling, what does it look like? You know?
Um, I don't know, man. I mean, you got to find like I said, I think every single person should have a passion for something. I think every single person should have goals set. I mean, I think that helps get through life. Um, so I got to find more goals. I got to find more passions, and I think that coaching Regina here will be something that may fire me up for another goal. You know, state champion, individual state champs, and team state champs. That's something that I'm going to chase with my best ability, and that might fill the void a little bit. I've already have mountains that fill the void. I already have mountain biking and shooting and stuff for your hobbies, but you got to have a life goal too that is hard to achieve. Life can't all be sunshine and butterflies. So
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, I think this coaching avenue is going to be really, really, really good for me, and I think it's going to be really, really good for the athletes that I coach.
Yeah, what about career wise, besides coaching? Like, is there a path you're going down? Sports rec and management was your
Yeah,
master's. Like, is that in the
yeah,
cards or what?
yeah. Look into sport admin positions. Looking into staff members and at Regina would be cool. Uh, yeah, right now it just kind of go where life takes me
Hmm.
and take what I can get and do my best and whatever is offered to me and
Hmm.
yeah, just see where life takes you. It's just life. It ain't that serious.
Yeah. I heard this story once about your dad went mountain biking with Colby Franklin and his tire popped. And like it was like the worst day of Colby. I'm saying this, he didn't say this. It was like the worst morning of his life because like his tire popped like halfway through. He had to walk it back to the car. Like, have you ever been mountain biking with your dad and something like that happened?
Oh my gosh, man, he's funny. I was with Franklin. I was with him when that happened.
Oh, you were?
Yeah,
I forget if
yeah.
he, okay, I talked to him. I forget if he said you were with him, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a group of like five of us, and yeah, he had to walk it back to the truck and just wait for us to be done with our workout. And that's
Yeah.
no fun, You go out to mountain bike with people, and and then the tire pops, and now you have to not work out A, and B, you have to wait for everybody to be done with their workouts. So I can see how frustrated that actually happened to me one year, and I was riding it's a gravel bike on mountain bike trails. Oh my gosh, don't do that. I had no suspension. So I popped the tire and I had to do the same thing that Franklin had to do. And so I know what it's like. But crazy stories like that. I mean, me and my dad rode Slick Rock out in Moab. It's one of the most famous mountain bike trails in the United States. And it was 104 degrees outside when we did it. So we were so dehydrated. My dad refuses to wear a backpack because he gets
Okay.
headaches really easy. So he thinks the backpack pulls on like his traps and his neck and gives him a headache. So he had like a fanny pack for his water, right? And so it wasn't riding normal on a bike. Like a bike, you need a backpack or something. And he was so frustrated and he was really slow because he didn't have good optimal nutrition and stuff. But Um, yeah, he's crazy. I last year we were out in Glacier and Glacier National Park up in
Mhm.
Montana, and I was climbing a 14er, or I was not climbing a 14er, but I was doing a hike, and I go out early. I come back around 1 p.m. and my mom's like, Dad's been gone for so long. I'm like, what do you mean he's been gone for so long? She's like, he said he was going mountain biking. He's been gone for like 3.5 hours. I go, oh my gosh, where's his phone? He doesn't bring his phone ever, right? He didn't bring his phone, and I asked him how he was, if he had any water, and my mom was like, I don't think he had very much water. And I'm like, and I had just been hiking from like 3 a.m. So I'm tired, and I just hop in my truck with all my sweaty hiking clothes, and I just drive to where I knew he was mountain biking, and I just start looking for him, right? And didn't see him, took forever. I go to the exit of where I knew that it ended, and I sat there on my phone in my truck for a good probably 45 minutes. And all of a sudden here he comes riding out, and he's like looks dead, and he just waves at me like this. Like like, all right, okay. I go, I'm like, what's up? And he goes, give me a ride home. I go, yeah, that's why I'm here. And he goes, oh, thank you. Cause he was going to bike from that trail all the ways back to where we were staying. And, no water, no phone. And he was dehydrated. I was really mad at him. I let him have it. I was pissed.
Really?
I was like, dude, I've been sitting here for an hour and I didn't know whether I needed to start looking for you or call somebody.
Mhm.
And he's like, yeah, I gotta bring my phone next time. I go, yeah, no kidding. But
And maybe some water.
yeah, and water. He goes, the trail was way longer than I thought. He's funny, man. He works his ass off. He still works out twice a day as a coach, and he doesn't get on the mat as much now because of his knees and neck and stuff. But
Mm.
I mean, he works his ass off. That's for sure.
Yeah, one thing I've learned, so like I've recently talked to quite a few of the Iowa guys. I talked to Caleb Young, Charles Matthews, Jeremiah Moody, Colby Franklin. Like, I mean, there's something special about Tom and Terry. And unless like you know them or have been around them, like it's hard. How do I say this? Like, you don't really understand them until like you've been around them. You can see what you see on TV all you want, but like, I mean, it's almost like they're just totally, I don't want to say different, but you just don't understand unless you've been there with them.
Yeah,
Like,
100%. I think that people don't understand the passion that they have. Their passion for you as an athlete and their passion for the sport of wrestling is probably next to none. I
mhm,
mean, um, they just want to make you the best version of yourself, and they do it in a really, really, what's the word I'm looking for? Strict way, not strict, but like hard-nosed way,
mhm,
right? Like a working man way. You don't get anything in life unless you work your ass off, is their mentality.
mhm.
And a lot of people can't relate to that, man. So yeah, I mean the passion is just next to none.
The other thing that I've learned is they're kind of funny guys. Like they're
Yeah,
funny people.
yeah.
But again, like unless you're around them or you know them, you don't really see them or see their humor. But you kind of were good about it with the Vandenbergs when you were talking to them on there, about Tom hide your wrestling shoes,
Yeah, yeah,
apparently. W-
yeah.
Did he do that with like, did he play those little games with like everybody?
Oh yeah, he played it
Yeah.
with a lot of people. He does silly things with everybody, and they both have a very, very dry sense of humor. Something that a lot of people are like can't tell if they're being serious, sarcastic, or
Yeah.
funny, you know. And a lot of times they're being dead serious, and you'll think they're joking too, and that's when it gets really funny. But just like the pre-practice talks that Terry and Tom would do, they always have really, really funny points where you're like, there's no way you just said that, or things like that. And yeah, people need to experience that sometimes. And
Mhm.
like I said, people can't relate sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Before I let you go, I wanted to end on this. Your run. a couple years ago to a fifth place finish was, I thought it was remarkable. It was one of the reasons why Iowa placed as high as they did as a team. Like when you look at the team and you kind of went who was there and who qualified, you knew what to expect from some of the other guys, and then there was you who just put it all together. I mean, you said your junior year was really fun, but how fun was that? Your junior year in high school was fun, but how fun was that year to, I mean, fifth place All American? I mean, you were just on a freaking roll, and it was awesome, you know?
Yeah, that season was really special because, in October I was on a motorcycle and I got smoked by a car and broke my collarbone. I had been coming back from my Tommy John surgery in my elbow.
Hmm.
Um, so like it seemed like, everything's against you. The world's against me, That's
Hmm.
kind of what it felt like. And then being able to get through that season and then actually finish like above what everybody was saying I was going to do, or like, oh, he shouldn't even be the starter. You see all that stuff all the time. I get DMs like saying you suck after you lose a match. And it's just like, being able to prove people wrong there is really, really cool. And then obviously that is a, you shoot for the stars and I hit the moon, that's okay. Um, but yeah, like I said, dealing with the hardships that I had for that season it was nice to get over that hump. And it's crazy because I only had two national tournaments. I wrestled at 184.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I wrestled at 184 in 2021 when we won as a team, and then I wrestled at 174 2 years later. So a lot of ups and downs from my college career, but I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I think that's just kind of my mentality in life, anyways. Is what the cards that I'm dealt, just deal with them and enjoy it. Yeah.
Jeez, it's kind of wild. Like I didn't even, when you say that out loud, you don't even think about that, I guess, like two national tournaments. Because you were there for 7 years, so you know. I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you're so positive. Like when you hear your story and over the last hour and 15 minutes, like there were some hard moments, um, and we didn't even get into all of it. But your positivity about it all. I mean, if you could even try to explain it, like what, how, I guess, you
I
know?
think having the big man to look at, right, or to talk to and speak your mind to is always important. Um, like I said, having Terry as my dad is probably one of the number one things that helped me get through it. Um, he's his spirituality is extremely uh high and devout as well. So being able to learn those life lessons through him is definitely helped me get through hardships. Um, and then my outlook on life, just in general, is to just to enjoy it. You only get one life. You only get
Mhm.
one life on here, so just do your damn best for God's honor and glory. And I don't see an issue with what anybody's doing. To each their own.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, just if you don't look at something positive, if you're a really negative person about life and about oh woe is me, right? Nobody wants to be around that guy. Nobody wants to hear somebody talk negative 24/7. So knowing that too, like my friends don't want to hear me bitch and moan,
Mhm.
so just don't do it. Easier said than done for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, I just think that's just my outlook on life and the teachings I had from my dad and from the Bible are definitely help.
Yeah. Um, Last question for you here. How was Terry, your dad, and also Tom? Were they good Christmas gift givers and birthday gift givers? Did they give you some like good presents, or did they just like say "Happy birthday, bud"?
Oh no,
Merry
they're
Christmas.
they're funny. My dad, he's definitely given me some gifts over the years. He's a
Mhm.
big gun guy, so I've gotten a handful of guns throughout the years from him for Christmas, and Yeah, those are awesome. But you know what? Every other year or so, my dad would just we would do a Secret Santa with Tom's side of the family and our side of the family. And one year, my dad actually, I think 2 years, my dad had me, and both years we were opening Secret Santa gifts, and I didn't have a gift to open. So that gives you that's kind of like how they roll. That's kind of how I kind of learned to roll too. Is like with my best friends or with even my wife, it'll be yeah, I mean, I couldn't really think anything that would make a big difference for you for a gift. So I'll just get you something really crazy next year or something like that.
Okay.
So just growing up like that, like gifts aren't forced, I'm not like, oh, dad, you didn't get me a gift or you forgot. And he was apologetic when he forgot my Secret Santa gift, but I don't care,
Yeah.
like it's being around family is all that you ask for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Um, for real quick for your wife, did she know what she was getting into? Had like where did she come into the picture a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew her through wrestling. I met her at Aegon. You remember Aegon 5?
Really? Okay.
Where the Aegon thing, I was young. I was probably a ninth grader or an
Yeah.
eighth grader. I met
Wow.
her there, but she was spectating there in wherever it was. I think it was Cedar Rapids or Ames or something. But
Hmm.
yeah, so she's always been not a huge wrestling fan, but she definitely enjoyed watching wrestling.
Hmm.
But yeah, went from there, and then I asked her on a date in college, and I met her in Cedar Rapids. She played soccer at UNI, so asked her to go on a date after being over the phone friends
Right.
for many years, and it was a good time. And then we just did it
Hmm.
again and did it again, and then now we're
Hmm.
married. So happy ending, I guess you could say, or a happy
Yeah.
start.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she know kind of the dynamic of the
Yeah.
family? You know?
I think she's still getting used to it to this day.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody understands how competitive Tom and Terry are, and I just wish that a lot of the fights at Christmas and stuff from when I was younger were filmed and stuff. Because I mean, they're funny guys, and the stories that you heard from like Royce Alger on like the Terry documentary or on these the Brands Bros documentary, they're true, and they did it when they were 40 years old too. So I wish they were filmed. They're older now, so I haven't seen it for a decade now, probably. But I remember just living in Colorado when Tom came there, and my dad and Tom getting in a straight up fist fight over Nerf gun war. So just things like that just made you laugh. They weren't very funny when they were happening because they were serious and blood was
Mhm.
being thrown. But looking back on it, it's so funny because like what are you guys doing? Loosen up a little bit, but it's still like it's cool. Like the competitive nature and spirit of them is so cool. And
Mhm.
even doing trampoline basketball with my dad as a 12-year-old and him just totally dunking on me and just whooping my ass the entire time on the trampoline are still great memories, even though I was so mad because he was just beating me so bad.
Yeah.
Um, or like, I mean, I got so many stories, man. But like, even my dad, we're big Star Wars people. Loved watching Star Wars growing up, and Revenge of the Sith, the third prequel,
Mhm.
um, was rated PG-13 instead of PG, and I was like 12, and I really wanted to watch it. And my dad was saying, "Nope, nope, you can't watch it." And he said, "You can watch it if you do 20 pull-ups straight." I get up on the pull-up bar. I think I did 15 or 16, and I just hung there crying because I couldn't do 5 more. And I fell off the bar, and I'm crying, and my mom's like, "You're gonna let him watch it, right?" And my dad goes, "Nope." And about a week later, I did 20 pull-ups, and I got to watch Revenge of the Sith. So I'm appreciative of it. I'm appreciative of it.
Mhm. Wow. Have they loosened up even a little bit?
Oh yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah. Age
Yeah.
age does that to you, and outlooks on life, I'm sure, does that to you. Does that to you too. I loosened up a lot too. I used to be a really competitive and kind of a dick when I was in junior high school, just because you wrestling, you kind of feel like you have to do that, but you
Mhm.
really don't. It's all love and war, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, were you competitive in other things too? Like,
Oh
not just
yeah, I
wrestling?
mean,
Okay.
yeah, anything that I do, I'm really competitive in.
Mm-hmm.
I want to win in everything. Video games, spike ball, volleyball, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Trampoline basketball. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. I know I said last question like 10 times there, so I apologize, but appreciate the time, good luck in the future and whatever else comes your way, it sounds like what's the saying, like the world is your oyster or something, so like you're finally it's weird. It's probably a weird time. Like you probably have all this, I think you said that at the beginning, you have all this time on your hands and you're like, now what? So,
Now what is right, man? But
yeah.
that everybody deals with it. So I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited for
Cool.
the future, man.
Thanks again for listening to this episode of the Let's Talk Wrestling podcast. Special thanks to my guest, Nelson Brands, for taking the time to sit down and chat with me. Cover art created and designed by Kristen Gill. Please feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe to this podcast. You can also check me out on Twitter, Instagram, and my Facebook page to hear more of my content. And don't forget to check out my website at letstalkwrestlingpodcast.my.canva.site. And, as always, be sure to tune in to hear the next guest of the Let's Talk Wrestling podcast. Take care. See you next time.